Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this episode of The Introduction. Today I'm with my special guest, Rachel Licastro. So, Rachel, what's going on? How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I can't complain, honestly. Just had a long day, just finished class. So, so tell me, like, what's going on? We approached you. We wanted to know something about you, but for us to get that, can tell us who is Rachel?
Well, I appreciate you having me on and, believing in me and being interested in what I'm working on. So this is really a childhood dream come true. But first off, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Rachel. I consider myself an entrepreneur and fashion designer mostly. I am a student also. I go full time at Penn State University. I'm currently doing online classes and I'm getting a marketing degree. So it's been crazy, especially with COVID, everything going on. But I'm super passionate about diversity and equality, and I want everybody to have like a positive outlook on the future. So that is what Ramali, my brand, is based upon. So I can give you a little more input into how that came about and stuff, but in a nutshell, that's me. I just want to have a better future for everybody.
Okay. So you hit on diversity and equality. How how do your clothes, how does your brand bring in that inclusion?
That's a good question. So honestly, the the models that I'm choosing are all going to be a representative of that. So different body types, different skin colors, different ethnicities. Like I want to include everybody, so nobody is discriminated against in my clothing line. That is the main thing, and I want people from around the world to know this as a nationally recognized brand.
Okay. So then speaking on that, right? We have there's so many different body types out there, and there's so many different types of people who, they basically body shame others. You being a
Mhm.
fashion designer and working on your own personal brand, how do you combat that? How do you combat the naysayers that really go out of their way to say they won't look good and a medium as opposed to them wearing a small?
Well, we're gonna get that always, but that's just life. Like that's just how I go about it. This brand is all about not caring about judgment from others, embracing yourself. So if you
Mm.
feel that you look good this way in this size, then you should embrace that. And my clothes are going to be all comfortable and versatile and unisex sizes. So this way, it's not discriminating against one size or one gender. Mostly the clothes that I have for this job, especially, are gender neutral.
Okay.
So each gender would look good in it. And as far as the naysayers, don't listen to them. I'm just doing what I think is right. So.
Yeah, and I respect that because who's going to tell you to stop it? It's all up here that you're going to want to keep doing it. So if you really want to do it, you'll do it continuously. So I respect that.
Exactly. Thank you.
So so let me ask them, right? Is that hearing do you get motivated by haters? Are you motivated by that in the sense of, hey, look, if someone's saying my clothes aren't the best, or hey, look, they're saying they don't look good in your brand, is that a motivation for you to continue doing more or to continue to put out product? What is that for you? Like who is your motivation or what is your motivation?
Oh man. Okay, so I can't say it's a who. It is more of a what. Um, because my motivation comes from everything, absolutely everything in my life I put together, and I put that fire into my work. But I would say that it's definitely those who doubt, definitely those who believe in me equally. But at the same time, my main motivation comes from, how to break it down. My family, first off, I have a whole family of amazing woodworkers and artists and painters and seamstresses. And together, that inspires me to be, honing on my abilities.
Okay.
And on top of that, I would say that it's just judgment is inevitable. So the haters definitely fuel my fire. I'm not gonna lie, because you see a vision, I see a vision. And when I see it, someone else might not really think it's gonna look good, but I show them that there's no other way around it. Like, it's gonna look good. And it's just that just feels right.
Hey, okay, okay. So hearing that, right? You brought up your family. How
Mhm.
big is your family to you and what you're going through? You said you had woodworkers, seams. I'm gonna say the word wrong. Hold on, one second.
Okay. See.
Yeah, seamstresses. Um, you had. It sounds like you had a lot of blue collar workers in your family.
Mm-hmm.
How does right there? You're starting your own line, which doing that is something that's difficult in itself because that's a lot of time, that's a lot of effort, and that's not sticking to that regular old 9 to 5. How are you
Definitely
branching
not.
out and competing?
Well, I think that you just kind of hit the nail on the head. My family historically is blue collar, pretty pretty poor, going all the way back, like family of hustlers, family of people like who are creative but never got their goals really, really achieved at the level they wanted to. So I want to kind of break that family, you know,
That
curse,
cycle.
if you would, and be that person to not fit that cycle and just follow my dreams. Because a lot of people think that, following your dreams is like, impossible or pipe dream, but I'm going to show that you can actually do it. So this is a dream I've had since I was little, and being able to do it is it's amazing. I would never ever stop doing this. So
Okay.
my family means so much to me, and they're my greatest support system. And I think that just since I have those natural abilities, I need to put it into my work.
Yeah, and that's wholesome right there because that's really bringing it back home. It's not like you had someone else going out or someone outside telling you, "Hey, look, you should do this, this, and this." You really saw it from the ground up, and that's something that's not many people have, or they don't have that backing where they've seen it all throughout their life. They've seen that grind, that drive to want to earn more, and
Mm-hmm.
not everyone has it. And looking at you, speaking to you, I see that, and I understand like you have a passion for fashion designing. You have
Thank
that drive, and you want to put your company out there. You want to put your brand out there so everyone sees it.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
So with that said, you also mentioned you're a full-time student. The full-time being a full-time student, that's not easy. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy task.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're up late writing in papers. Sometimes you're up late studying for an exams. How do you handle the time management of both?
Well, honestly, it's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that the pandemic was wonderful and being a student is easy. Have business, you should all do it. No, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's also the most rewarding.
Yeah.
So, it just takes a lot of late nights. I'm like a person who likes to stay up and work at night, so I'll get my schoolwork done. I actually I changed my dreams last year. I'm gonna go back before I get into that. So I was actually going to play 4 years of college volleyball. Um, Events happened, tore my ACL last year, and everyone that knows me knows that that was like the jump start to getting into this and giving a volleyball. So basically, I decided I'm going all in on my business. So I did online Penn State so I could work from home and I could also study from home and do everything in my living room, kind of, that kind of vibe. And when I did that, it just all fell together. I got a schedule. I got an amazing team who is super supportive and they help get things done. So all this together just made it happen.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned that you faced a challenge. You faced that ACL injury, and that how so prior to that, how big was volleyball to you? You were going to school for it for 4 years. Well, you were going to school for it. You were an
Yeah,
NCAA athlete, and that's something major. Everyone wants to get to that collegiate level to keep playing a sport they love. How big did that ACL injury impact you? Mentally.
that was honestly one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. And like, that's just it. Like, everyone's going to go through something traumatic, something like something that really affects their life. But you just gotta take that and make it into something better. And that's what I did unintentionally, actually. I just started really working because I figured if I have to give up that dream, which I didn't have to, but things just started coming together in a way that made me realize that is my real path, and I stuck with it. Um, it affected me so much that that's when I started doing hand painted jacket designs. I used to do a lot of customs last year and everything. Got really successful quick off of that, and it formed into a whole business. And that wasn't my dream. My dream was to have my own clothing line to share with everybody. So that's why I'm finally at the point. But it took losing my football to do that for me. So
Okay.
definitely.
So you didn't let adversity stop you. You said, screw it. I don't have to stay here and do nothing. I'm gonna do something else that I'm passionate about and I know I love. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect that because you're calling yourself.
Sorry about that. I played since I was 8. It was everything. So this was also everything, but I kind of forgot fashion because I was so into this other mind that I would never look back. But now I'm grateful for it. So yeah.
Hey, and that's all that matters, that you want to do this and you're happy that you're doing this. So with that said, then you mentioned that you made custom pieces. Now you have a couple custom pieces that are done, but really inspired you for those customs? You have a Zion Williamson's custom jersey or jacket, and you have a Chief Keef jacket as well.
Oh,
Both
welcome.
are phenomenal pieces.
Thank
As
you.
well as, let's not forget, you have your Adidas, two different Adidas colorways done that are recreated and reworked. You know,
Yeah.
were those just stepping stones to putting you where you're at now in your company and getting to really sit down with what you're doing?
I would say that's exactly it. I look back a lot and, I think the growth is coming on really fast because I'm constantly working. So you see the results quickly. So from last year, I don't know why I did what I did. It just felt right and I just was having fun with it, developing my craft. So it started with more the hands-on, developing my painting skills and stuff because like I said, that's my family. Um, when I did those pieces, it was all based off telling people's story on their clothing. And exactly what I'm doing now with a different kind of twist to it. So my whole thing never ever changed with my designs. Whenever I started doing the cut and sew, like revamping existing pieces, that's when I wanted to hone in on my sewing abilities. So I started teaching myself how to sew. But I think the best part about that was I was taking pieces that were kind of like old school classic vintage pieces, right?
Yeah.
And and I think the beauty in that was that I would take these pieces and not plan it at all, and I would just go with the flow. So it kind of got me in this mindset of like making the best out of what you got, kind of. So that was just so much fun. And all of those abilities and skills came together in Ramali. So I can see how everything has helped me up until this point.
So with okay, right? You have you're now preparing for the release of a line,
Yeah,
and it's called Elements.
right.
So what was really, what was the drive, or what was the inspiration for Elements?
Man, okay, so elements is I thought that was the perfect to incorporate the universe into my clothing line because that is my greatest inspiration for the brand as a whole. So why not have the first collection be like the creme de la creme of the universe? So
Yeah.
how do I break it down? So with elements, it's fire, it's air, it's water, and it's earth, right? So the 4 elements are incorporated into all the designs. I want to give people a sense of home, but a new twist on it, a new perspective,
Okay.
a more beautiful earth, like a utopian kind of society. And so with elements, I incorporated those textures, those colors, and that kind of comfort that you find in the elements in the world.
Word. Okay.
Okay, like beauty hidden in plain sight.
So you saying that then, right? And you wanting to bring that out. what your first line is elements. What can we expect for the next line? You're embodying the universe, you're taking us all in. What can we look for next?
It's gonna get better. I
Hey,
can't tell you exactly because that's a secret. That's what keeps up the, the mystery behind my work. Like, I have a few crazy ideas on my sleeve, but just know
okay,
that everything is gonna have that kind of a twist to it.
okay. So, you just hit on that word twist.
Hmm.
Do you do you bring in politics into your clothing, into your artwork?
Um, so I did when I was doing the hand painted designs. I did hit on some of the movements and stuff at the time. Just because it's what I'm passionate about. I work off emotion. I work
Okay.
off what I feel is right. So with Ramali, I incorporate I take my central idea, right, of what I'm trying to achieve, which is uplifting one another.
Yeah.
Um, and I work off of feeling. So I can't say I involve politics. I involve feeling, not politics. I just think politics can get so negative. I don't want negativity to associate with my brand.
And that's understandable because politics gets very messy, it gets very dirty. It's always one side has to be right as opposed to the other. So
Exactly.
sometimes it's not really necessary, sometimes it's not needed. So,
Mhm.
and understanding then that politics isn't needed and unnecessary, how big is politics in, the fashion industry?
Politics is huge in everything. I mean, it just it just is, but I choose to ignore that because to be honest, that and what I want to achieve are separate entities. Like I don't care, like personally. I just like to know that the good for all is to love one another, and to uplift one another. That's all I go off of. I don't care about all the other outside factors. And
Word.
you have to kind of ignore all that to keep going forward. So
So you just phase it all out, just let it keep going, like one ear and out, right out the other.
I know it's there, but you just gotta let it slide.
It's just like straight off the chest, like just right off, just let it go. See,
Hmm.
something simple as that. With that being said, right? Politics aren't in question. How do you curate something for a singular person? You have, let's say I asked you, I said, yo, I want a hat, or I want a t-shirt, or I want a basketball jersey. How do you curate that to my style?
Well, personally, I do have customs even for Ramali, like under this label. That's gonna be a thing that after I have this first line drop, that when I have everything more developed, that I'll be able to like do that at the same time. But if someone were to reach out and say I want a custom, usually what I'll do is I'll just tell them like what kind of idea do you have, and they will send ideas and stuff, and I take all their ideas together, so I kind of form what kind of colors they like, what kind of style they have, like maybe just I get the vibe from them, and I can create something beautiful out of that. But
Okay.
it's not so direct. It's just a jumble of all their favorite things together, and you can make something work with it. If that makes sense.
I'm gonna keep that in mind. I might have to, ask for a custom piece or something soon.
That would be awesome. I'd love to do it.
Nice. Real quick before we get ready to wrap up, um, you mentioned earlier that you have new management. Now,
Mhm.
how important is management to you and what you're doing? How important is it having, each position filled for you personally so that you don't have to go and be like, I got to work on this, I got to work on that. How do you keep that all under wrap?
I would say that okay, so in the timeline, I always worked for myself. I didn't have a team. I had a huge support system. I always was the only person doing it. Now that Ramali is an LLC, finally got that. I'm working on all the background stuff. I figure I need a team of people. I need, to form this business platform. And with that, I'm still managing myself. I'm still doing a lot, but I think that when you can finally like find people who are excelling in other areas that you don't really know as well, and you bring them on your team, which is what I've done, that we can all kind of be working at the same time so that we're achieving things at a way quicker rate than if that wasn't the case. So management is huge. I think that can really make or break your whole entire business, truly.
Okay.
But luckily I love what I'm doing, so I'm living and breathing it. So there's no chance of not putting in the work.
Nah, and that's, as long as you put in the work, it'll be successful. So let me ask, so before I say my final remarks, do you have anything that you want to say, to the audience, to us, the viewers, just to let them know, like, hey, look, I'm here. Don't sleep on me.
Yeah, the thing is, all I ask is that people try to get this word out because I'm doing something for everybody. Like, this isn't just my dream. This is a dream that I hope we can carry on to everybody else and make everybody else better.
Okay.
So you can check out my website. It's www.shopramali.com. I also have my Instagram. I have my Twitter. It's shop.ramali. And you can give those a follow, show some love, check out the website, subscribe to the email list, tell everybody get that word out. And that's the best support that you could possibly do for me right now.
All right. Say no more. Well, Rachel, it was great talking to you. Thank you for being on the show today. And that's all the time we have. So
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
everyone next week for the next week's episode of The Introduction.